So the collection and use of data in the smart city that needs to be informed by ethical principles. And if that is not the case, that threatens the legitimacy and the long-term success of the smart city. So to that end, the purpose of the ethics project is to help identify and address these ethical issues that attach to the development and the implementation of a number of AI applications in Stockholm. So let me now offer you some more substantive reasons for why we should pay attention to the ethics. Well, here are two reasons that I think are highly relevant given the context here today. So the first reason has to do with the especially high demands on the public sector when it introduces new technologies. So the public sector must, for example, ensure equality, avoid bias, and is all times accountable to the public. Now, in addition to this, the public sector has considerable power over its citizens. And these obligations, coupled with power, or the imbalance in power, if you will, that necessitates ethical choices. And that requires high transparency and explainability and the need to safeguard privacy. Now, the second reason has to do with what a smart city is. So, in the case of Stockholm, it has explicitly stated that smarter should be understood in terms of citizen well-being. And for that to be an achievable goal, it requires trust and an ongoing collaboration between the city and the citizens. So if those are some reasons, what are these ethical issues that we ought to pay attention to then? Well, there are quite a few, as you can see here in my cloud, but the following have a particular relevance for what we're talking about today, namely the responsible and sustainable development of the smart city. So I would like to mention privacy and autonomy, trust, transparency and explainability, justice and fairness, responsibility and accountability, green sustainability, and decision-making. And some of these issues are regulated in the law. Privacy, for example, often falls under the GDPR nowadays, and many issues pertaining to responsibility and accountability are subject to various laws. However, there are also other important ethical issues that are not explicitly regulated in the law, but they still need addressing. Now, in addition to that, there are plenty of value conflicts that are likely to occur and are already occurring for that matter. And there are also grey zones in which the city and other stakeholders need to navigate. So thus far it's been fairly abstract, I suppose. So here in my last slide, I want to say a few words on how we can move from these high-level abstract principles to something which is more applied. And my example are the ethics counselings that we have conducted in with the projects in the lab. So an ethics counselling is a discussion-based session with the intent to help the researchers to identify and address a range of ethical issues that might attach to their projects. And it helps them to go from this knowledge of the abstract to something which is applicable in their own projects. It contextualizes the ethics, if you will. And the session also aims to put the project into the bigger picture and look ahead. What's the potential for a positive contribution from this project? How can it contribute to a more socially and environmentally stable city? And how can the research insights be further leveraged? It also looks at the risk for negative, unintentional negative effects, if you will. Is there a risk that this project contributes to the negative research practices or the upholding or introduction of bias, or that it undermines trust and transparency in some way? So in way of results then, these counselings have generated concrete advice and recommendations for the projects. It has increased the awareness of the ethical aspects, and it stimulates a necessary and ongoing ethics discussion within the projects, right? Because it's not just a one-off, surely. I mean, things change both in the project, you get unexpected results, and things changed in the world around us. Now, additional suggestions for a more structured ethics work include formulating an ethical policy, to provide further training, for example, workshops on ethics, and also facilitate regular exchanges between the different projects in the lab on the ethical challenges that they have encountered and how they have solved them, for that matter. And another important aspect that's been raised today, particularly in the panel, I think, but also by other speakers, concerns communication. Right? So not just on the technology or the final results of a project or an intervention in the city, but also on the overarching purpose, with a focus on the practical relevance for the citizens and how the projects have reflected on ethical aspects involved in their work. Such reflections can be shared. And also the strive for dialogue and involvement, so not a one-way communication, but an actual invitation for engaging citizens to take part and seek to be transparent and engaging in this communication. So all of these things taken together can contribute to building trust and generating the necessary collaboration, which is key for the long-term success of the smart city. Thank you.